It shouldn't surprise anyone that the Chinese Communist Party has been placing its members in strategic government and commercial positions around the world. They've been actively infiltrating key Western organisations for a long time. Now, in Australia, they have effectively bought some of our universities and our academics. They have sought to influence politics through donations, candidate support, and staff placements too. We know that hundreds of Chinese government spies come here every single year, mixed amongst the horde of tourists. And the Chinese Communist Party are also responsible for repeated cyber attacks on our intelligence and security services, including, notably, Parliament House and ASIO. We also know that the Chinese have brought their way into influence at the very highest levels of government through cash for access schemes, reaching right up to the presumptive next president of the United States. That's Joe Biden, aka the big guy. Now, because we know all of that, and because we know how petulant and nasty communists can be, we can take precautions to protect ourselves. That's what makes the leak of the 1.9 million Chinese Communist Party members' details so illuminating. But it also shows just how unintelligent some of our supposed intelligence services can be. How is it that at least one Chinese Communist Party member comes to be working in the Australian Embassy in Beijing? Isn't that like inviting a red fox into a henhouse? The official explanation is that the hire of Chinese nationals has to go through a Chinese government agency. It's called the Shanghai Foreign Agency Service Department. And Australia's been hiring staff through that agency for at least 5 years. Now, I may be just simplifying this, but who could have thought that using a Chinese Communist Party front company to hire staff might actually throw a few Chinese spies and CCP members into the mix? Personally, I'd be surprised if anyone put forward by this company wasn't really an agent of Communist China. Now, it may well be that our own intelligence agencies are all over this, but I do wonder how many Australians, personally hand-vetted by our own government, are working in the Chinese embassy here in Canberra. I suspect the answer is zero. And one could imagine the outcry from the Chinese government itself if we insisted they did what they're making us do. This is just another example of how China plays by different rules to the rest of the world. And as increasing numbers of nations turn a blind eye to the double standards and the hypocrisy, usually for financial reasons, the Western world is sealing its own fate.